It might. You never, because it's like it's never right when it starts. It's like usually just right.
The last
Or
video.
just right before.
Yeah. Last
I know
video.
you
had-
boner. You boner.
Yeah. It was epic fucking over.
Just work it, turn it, babe. Shake it, roll it, roll it, roll it.
Dope that they're bringing Killer Instinct, man.
Yo, what's up, guys? Joker here, and we are back. And actually, you know what? I forgot to. I got to go ahead and pop down my audio. I forgot. I did that. Forgot to do that last week. It was on boosted too much, so I'm going to drop it down by one boost level. And we'll see it as there. Last week I was clipping a little bit. Hopefully, I'm not clipping this week. But people are probably confused because we've got Imposter Brian. We've got Bizarro Brian down there. We've got
man,
Brian
really
with
good.
Brian with the eye. What's really good?
That's really good.
Yeah, so people say it in the chat, like, what's really good?
Yeah, man. Yeah, fake. Real Brian's on vacation, so I'm doing my best to sit in. I didn't want to get all dressed up for the occasion, though.
Yeah, you're a little underdressed compared to how Brian usually is.
Yeah, I left my sweater vest in the other room.
That's right. Well, what you lack in your sense of fashion, bring in your tone and energy
I'll see what I can do.
to the broadcast.
I've been awake for hours on end, so I'm ready.
You're ready to go. All right, so it's been a while since we've had you on. For the people that don't know out there, we've had Brian on before. He does a tech channel as well, BadSeedTech. We got his link right down in the description below, right at the top. You want to check him out? Throw a sub his way and watch some of his videos. He's not uploading as much as he used to, but his when he does upload, it's good high quality content. Usually has something good and smart to say. So keep bringing it, man.
I do try.
So what have you been up to though? Otherwise, since like the last time you were here, like any good tech pickups you want to talk about?
Yeah, I've started my foray into AMD cards, which I think is going to be pretty cool. I take a lot of flack on the channel for being green team only, and it's not due to any bias or fanboydom. It's what I decided to spend my money on. But I got with Ed Chrysler. He gave me some solid recommendations for some red team cards, so I'm going to start delving into AMD a little bit. Pretty stoked on that. Working on a test bench build right now, so I can tackle some of these benchmark videos, and basically gutted my apartment and just dropped some coin at IKEA and B&H. And we're gonna up the ante a little bit with the production quality on the channel. So busy.
Nice. So big changes for 2016.
Yeah, man, a lot of goals on the table for 2016.
Well, nice. That's like what I did basically at the beginning of this year. Is like I basically shifted gears. I was like, all right, let's get some lights, get a nice camera, get everything set up. And you've already had that. It's just a matter of getting a little bit more consistent. That's like also another change I did because I also noticed once I had all that gear that it was like spending the money and having the professional gear is the motivation to do it, I guess.
Yeah, consistency I think is the hardest part. I mean, you're coming home at the end of a long day and finding the energy to do this thing, but as fast as this thing moves, if you're not staying consistent, if you're not getting out there, I mean, it's easy to get rolled over. So consistency is the hardest part, but probably the most important part of the equation.
What's that nitro behind you?
That is the Nitro R9 390 that I just picked up.
Oh, nice.
And it is legit still in the box. Like I have not even opened that thing yet.
That's what I just had I had the 380 that I was doing some testing on, like on all the games coming out, and I sent it back like a day before it was about to come up on its 30 days because it wasn't really that impressive, and I wanted to get the 390 instead of, which I haven't ordered yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to order the 390 probably right after the holidays, just because of the financial hit the holidays has.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. I'm excited to dive in.
I didn't have any really big new tech pickups. I got everything for the Land Syndicate build. I did the video on that the other day, which I think came out really good.
Yeah, it came out really good. Looks like a great parts lineup, man. It's going to be a little beast.
Yeah, also I was rebenchmarking the 970 SSC card in the test rig. Also got I got the 970 hybrid in there now. Man, that thing doesn't go over like 39 degrees at the tops, man. It's
man,
insane.
when we put a GPU on water, it's so impressive to see those temps. That's like the only advantage.
But the thing is, it doesn't really give me much more overclock. I got a little bit more of an overclock. I got it to 1554 stable.
It's not bad. I mean, I love the SSC. The SSC is an awesome little card. I'd really underestimated it, and it shocked me. But
The SSC,
that's the big thing with water. You think it's going to give you that overhead, and then you get in there, and it's like, it's just quieter doing it and cooler, I guess.
Yeah, the SSC, I got the 1544, the hybrid 1554, so a little bit 10 more, and it was like, but I also did the memory about another 150 more, but I had a couple of artifacts, so I'm still benchmarking, getting the final numbers in, but getting the final overclock for whatever I can run through stable and everything. But it's looking pretty good so far. And people are asking in chat I forgot to explain where original Brian is. Brian he's on holiday. He's on holiday for the holidays, basically for Christmas. I actually didn't even know about it until just today. He just told me today, so he's on holiday, and he has a like a shit laptop, so he couldn't do the show from the road where he's at. So
I imagine wherever he is, he's covered in gorgeous women too, so it might be a bit tough to pull himself away and get time for the show.
And yes, I do see the live chat, by the way. People are asking. Who's the man standing behind Joker? There's no man behind me. That is a poster of Joker. People always think it's like a ghost behind me or something when it's like dark in here. But it's not. It's just a poster of Joker. It's fine. But anyway, let's go ahead and fire into our first topic. First topic today, Gears of War Ultimate Edition and Killer Instinct finally coming early 2016 on the PC. Now,
Finally.
yes, been waiting to hear about this like forever. Like I was really hoping that it was going to come out this year, but then it didn't. So now it's coming out next year.
I couldn't be more stoked about this. Gears of War was so tight on the 360, and I've often, as ridiculous as this sounds, I love fighting games, and I've considered picking up an Xbox One just to have access to Killer Instinct, but the fact that it's coming to PC, I'm super stoked on that. Couldn't be more stoked on Gears of War.
Yeah, it's definitely good shit. I almost got a chance to play the Gears of War Ultimate on Xbox One when I was up at Tyler's at Mayflower. He had it on. He's like, I have an Xbox One, and I was like, why do you have an Xbox One? He's like, don't judge me. And I was like, show me. I was like, all right, let's see Gears of War. Like, I like Gears of War. Show me Gears of War. So he goes ahead and he loads up the Xbox, and it fucking sits there and just starts updating for like, it's like a 2.5 hour update or some shit like that. And like we wait for it to update, and then we put in Gears, and then like Gears is like, it needs a 5 GB update, and we're like, oh my god, get the fuck out of here. So I was like, didn't even get to see Gears of War. So
That's the beauty part of the modern day consoles, man. You get all the pain in the assdom of PC gaming with console quality. You can't beat it.
yeah, and it doesn't even seem to use your full internet speed either on the consoles for whatever reason.
Damn.
Yeah, but I can't wait for this to finally come to PC. And also, this episode is like pretty much like mostly gaming. There's like we have like a sprinkling of tech, but this is like this is mostly gaming. Just so you guys know. So I hope you guys like gaming. We're gonna be talking about a lot of gaming. It's gonna gamerific stuff like that. So
Hashtag that.
hashtag it gamerific. There you go.
Awful.
And then, all right. So up next after that, we have today's copyright claim, which is Mafia 3, 12 minutes of gameplay over on IGN. That's today's copyright of the day. So we got 12 minutes of gameplay on Mafia 3. I was not really. I mean, I really liked Mafia 2. Did you play? I'm going to stop playing this video so I don't get a copyright strike. But did you play Mafia 2 at all?
In its entirety and all of the DLC. I love the Mafia series. I played the original as well.
All right. So we both seem to have both loved Mafia 2. I completed it as well. I did like found all the Playboy magazines and all the wanted posters, everything.
Yeah.
Did everything, all that shit. The DLC though, absolutely awful. Was it not?
Yeah, it was pretty awful. It was more like fetch quest and bullshit missions. It wasn't
Because
anything like.
what happened was they sold it to you by showing you like awesome cutscenes with like Joe and other characters, and then you would get it, and it would be one cutscene at the start, and then it would just be like driving around doing stuff.
Yep.
And then no cutscenes or whatever, any type of story at all. There was no narrative, and that was the best part about the Mafia game was the strong narrative and like the good story.
Definitely, and I think that's the only thing that I think detracts me from being excited about Mafia 3 is that you're not playing a mafia guy. I mean, yeah, he's a criminal, but he's like a soldier returned from war. So
he's
now
in the
he's
Black Mafia.
Okay.
He's in the Black Mafia.
Well, I prefer my mafia Italian style. And
I
so
am in 100% agreement with you
on
that, and I understand their justification here, and I agree with you on that aspect because it should be if you're in the mafia, you're in the fucking mafia.
That is not a racist statement. Do not interpret that as a racist statement.
It's not racist. It's just when the whole series has always been the Italian mafia, so that's what that's what makes me want it. Yeah.
And I like the fact that like in Mafia 2, you were just a mafia guy. This guy's coming home from Vietnam. So he's been trained to be a soldier.
At the same rate, though, I I have to give them a pass though on the whole Black Mafia thing, because if they were to do something like Boston Irish Mafia, I would be 100% for that. I'd be all over that. So I can't say that I would only need an Italian Mafia game, because I would give them a pass on I would want the Irish Mafia game too. So I got to give them the Black Mafia game, in hopes that the Black Mafia game does well, and then maybe we'll get Boston Irish Mafia, because that'd be fucking sweet.
I love New Orleans as a setting, though. I think this is going to be an incredible open world setting.
Well, yeah, when I was watching this 12 minutes of gameplay, what actually got me excited is something that I didn't really think about, is just something that it's basically set back in that Vietnam era, back at home, where I don't think I've really seen that too many times in games before. Like,
no, they're trying to do something fresh with it. There's some good graphical stuff in there too, man. The reflections on the cars and stuff like that.
We could talk about the
nice.
graphics. Oh yeah, the graphics look amazing. Definitely the like the reflections of the headlights I saw at night on the streets looked really good. Everything looked really nice in that. The Mafia games have always really pushed hardware. Even the first one back on PS1, that was a gorgeous game for its time. Even though,
I think they've been really underrated. I think Mafia is underrated as a series. I'm stoked for it. I think it'll be good.
I hope that in Mafia 3 they kind of bring it all together, where in Mafia 2 it was literally it was story. It was like a 12 to 15 hour single player story, which I'm okay with, because like Wolfenstein New Order, they did that. It was really good in there. So I'm fine with them doing that, but I would also like to see them maybe introduce side content as long as it's not just bullshit filler content, and it's actually content that maybe means something, like you would see in like a Rockstar game.
That's the problem, I think, as we go, especially when people try to emulate the open world games. We get shoveled a lot of fetch quests, because it's just, you can have a beautiful world, a compelling story, but if all your missions feel like bullshit or they feel repetitive, and it's kind of hard not to at this point in time, then it'll really tank the game. So I hope they bring some creativity in the mission format.
Yeah. Sorry, I was asking the chat. People were saying in the chat that I was a little bit out of sync. I was asking if it's a little bit better now. I adjusted it to 500 milliseconds down from 1,000. So, see if that's any better or worse. I could maybe I had to go the other way with it. I don't know. I'm still trying to get that set up properly. It's like, it seems like it's like different every week. The delay on the OBS, it's ridiculous.
Huh.
So. No. Anyway, next thing we have up here, moving on from Mafia, is Mordhau. Now, this is not something I had ever heard of before. New Order, is it good? Yeah, it's really good. That's
really good. Really good.
The New Order is amazing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
New Order's good. Old Blood's good. Get it. If you don't have it, get it. They're great.
Yeah, definitely. Start with New Order though, for sure. That
Yes.
you can pick that up for like $7 right now on the winter sale on Steam. So, get it. So, okay. So anyway, back on topic. I'm trying to get to the right point in this video here. Mordhau. So, do you play Chivalry?
No, I do not play Chivalry. It's kind of, some of the medieval, like Middle Earth stuff is kind of lost on me topically. Every once in a while, a game's good enough to pull me into that kind of thing, Witcher being a great example. But no, I overlook a lot of these games just because I don't have a lot of time, so I have to prioritize.
Yeah, so, okay. Well, I play a fair bit of Chivalry. Me and my friends like playing Chivalry. It's a really good time. It just, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of old school gaming, but in a way that we hadn't really played before, because it's all melee combat. This is very much like that. This is pre-alpha footage of Mordhau. It's basically like Chivalry, but with definitely better graphics by a long shot, like way better graphics. I'm watching this video here at about 1:25 here. You can see him doing some combat maneuvers, really gory. He's lopping off heads and limbs and things, and it's really heavy, deliberate movements. The movements honestly look very familiar to Chivalry, apart from it doesn't look like it has as much cheese. And by the cheese, I mean there's a lot of cheese in Chivalry, where you can basically kind of wield your sword up at the sky in a way so that someone will go to block you, and then they'll waste their block, and you'll be able to get it on the rebound and swing upward as your sword is coming around, so it doesn't really lose too much speed, and then you can get a really good hit on them. It's kind of cheesy, so I don't really see too much of that here, but I'm sure it'll have its own elements of cheese. All these games tend to have some kind of cheese.
I think it's a tough format to pull off. I mean, first-person melee fighter. That's a.
It's not something you see very often. That's why when Chivalry came along after. Well, Chivalry was originally a mod, and then it got pushed into a real game, a full-size game. So and before then it was always a hard thing to do because it's always been a problem coding in many melee weapons with a lot of characters on screen. So this is, it's definitely interesting, and it's a fun genre definitely to play in, especially if you got a group of friends to play with. But this looks good though, and I've always just wanted to see something more like something like Chivalry, but maybe just better graphics, and this is doing that. So push it along. And then maybe Chivalry will update as well down the road. I can't wait to see Chivalry actually do like a complete engine overhaul. Maybe do like Unreal Engine 4 stuff. That would be great to see.
Are the developers still active for that? Are they still working on the
Oh
Chivalry?
yeah. Oh, they're so active because they're like a really small team. Like it started out as a mod, like I said. So they're constantly updating and adding in new maps, new content, things like that. It's constantly getting updates. There's so much content going into Chivalry all the time.
Nice.
So up next after that, we got Witcher 3. So we were talking about this a little bit before the show. I've been playing a lot of Witcher 3. You've been playing a lot of Fallout 4. And I also did a video recently about mods on Witcher 3, and the big texture mod, the Reworked project, just got updated to 2.0, so now it's looking even better. You can see the original rocks here looking kind of old and smudged out. It adds in a lot more detail.
Yeah,
kind
the
of like
comparison screenshots, crazy. It's amazing to me the modding community jumped on this so quick because Witcher 3 is already so gorgeous.
This is basically like adding tessellation.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I think it speaks a lot towards PC gaming in general because it's like, oh, Witcher 3 is like one of the most beautiful games we've ever seen, and somebody somewhere went, no, not good enough, and decided to devote a portion of their life to making it look even more incredible.
Yeah. So have you completed Witcher 3 yet, or?
No, I have not completed Witcher 3. I've completed the whole first area. I went and hunted down every question mark and really made sure I laid a good foundation for my game. But
Yeah. That's how it started for me too, and then I got burnt out on it, and like other games were coming out, and I like wanted to come back to it, and I'm kind of glad that I did wait. Now that I've got like extra time now towards the end of the year, and things are kind of slowing down game wise, and also because now more mods like this are available and have been matured a little bit. They're more polished and better looking, so just get all the benefits of waiting a little bit.
yeah, I'm excited to jump back in. I think I'm actually nearing the end of my timeline with Fallout 4. I hope.
Yeah, how much time do you have sunk into Fallout 4?
Oh my God, probably a little shy of 50 hours right now, which is big for me with the schedule I keep. And I should definitely be shooting more videos and uploading way more than I'm playing Fallout 4 right now. Real talk.
I've got 80. I looked earlier today. I've got 87 hours so far on Witcher 3, and I checked on IGN's guide for main story missions, and I'm about 50% of the way through the game.
Damn.
But I have a feeling that since I'm doing so much of the side content right now, I'm basically going to hammer it all out, and then I'm going to have nothing to do but main story quests, and there's going to be maybe like 10 of them, just one after the other.
I felt like the main story went pretty fast. I think the thing that cracked me up with Fallout 4 is the settlement tack-on piece, because it's like, damn, do we really need another massive lifetime sink integrated into this game? It would have eaten people's lives already. And now that you can put so much time and effort into the settlement building, it's like, Jesus, I'm never going to see the light of day.
Yeah. So this mod is great though, and I'm sure if you do come back to Witcher 3, you got to mod the shit out of that.
Oh, I will. Yes, I will.
Are you modding Fallout 4 at all?
I am, yeah, but the only thing I've really been doing with it so far is like taking the limitations off the settlements, just really lightweight mods. And I completed the story, and then after that, I just decided to cheat my ass off in the console, and I've just developed this god character and cranked the difficulty all the way up, and now I'm just having a blast with the thing.
Yeah, and also another thing is with Witcher 3, I don't think a lot of people give them enough credit for, is the optimization in that game is absolutely insane. Like, you can max that game out texture-wise and everything, and with mods and all that stuff, and it will not go over like 3 gigabytes, even at 1440p.
Okay, so there's a question. When we're talking about these redefined texture packs, is this taxing the GPU, or is this just filling up VRAM, or both?
It's filling up VRAM.
So it's really, if you're getting similar performance, you can mod the shit out of it, and you're going to get similar performance as long as you got the overhead in your VRAM?
It would seem so. I mean, honestly, I see like no performance impact whatsoever. I'm getting like, I get like 70 to 110 frames depending on where I am. Sometimes in Novigrad, I might go down to like 60, but like it like just dances on 60. That's like the lowest I'll go.
And we're running the same setup, right? You've got the 980 Ti's and SLI as well.
Oh yeah.
You've got that monster processor, though. I don't have that guy.
That definitely helps out. I will tell you that for sure because I was talking to my buddy Kurt recently, who runs a 4790K, and he was he was getting into Novigrad playing Witcher 3 as well, and it was like he's like, whoa! I just got into Novigrad. I see what you mean about the CPU. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I'm running the 4790K as well, and I definitely see places where it's getting its ass worked off for sure.
It's the in those areas like that, it's the physical cores. That's where it really helps out. The physical cores actually help out.
Yeah.
It's like people like still it's spread like misinformation about like, oh, you only need like an i5 or whatever. You only need a quad core, or well, even
that might have been true a year ago.
i7s are good, and even in cases i7 like 6 cores do better than like 4790Ks in some open world titles. Like it's very few titles where it's going to benefit, but if you're the type of person where you only play like one game and that's your only game, then it depends on how important it is to you, really. And we really are talking about a fraction of frames. It's like if you have to be really anally retentive to say I need that last 3 FPS by having that better processor. So it's really up to you at the end of the day.
I'm trying to learn not to be that guy because my wallet absolutely hates that aspect of my personality.
Yeah.
I have been that guy for a long time.
Not many people are that guy, but when you are that guy, then you're just like, oh well, like then there's probably like 95% of the people in the chat are like sitting there like right now like I would never buy a 5820K to get 3 FPS in a game, and the other people are sitting there listening to me like, oh, he makes perfect sense. That's why I haven't been getting that last 3 FPS. I just need to order a 5820K. Writing that down right now. Okay, putting that straight in my basket. It's just how crazy you are.
Yeah, I'm very guilty of that.
I think we all are in some respects. Speaking more about graphics, I guess here, this has been like the vein of my existence all year is Batman Arkham Knight. But all right, so we got an update, I guess, for this game. They finally added in the heavier rain effects, which were basically on like the PS4 version at launch. It's like at launch, people were like posting screenshots showing the PS4 version having better rain effects than the PC version, and the PC version, what it didn't basically have in the, it had showed them in the trailer for the GameWorks trailer, but then the actual release of the game, those were in the PS4 version, but not the PC version. So now we finally got those in the game. At this point, when no one cares about it, and
nobody cares.
At this point, where no one cares,
too little, too late.
At this point, where no one cares, and also, by the way, they added in a minor performance optimization. By the way,
I still don't see any mention of SLI anywhere in here, though.
No, they put that in the bag quite some time ago.
Yeah. I think, man, that's the perfect example of PC gamer anal retentiveness. Like, damn it, I paid for heavy rain. I want my heavy rain.
Absolutely.
This is way too little, too late. I didn't even bother with this. I still have not played Arkham Knight at all.
I've played like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of it. And I got so burnt out on doing the Forest Batmobile shit that I was just like, I could give 2 fucks about this game.
That's what everybody says. That
It's like-
Batmobile. Or the Boar-mobile, as I hear.
I was like, it's like, this fucking Batmobile can just go fucking suck a dick. Fucking big veiny dick.
Ugh.
Exactly.
Is there,
Just like
is there a mod where he drives that around instead of the Batmobile?
that sound you just made right there. When I said big veiny dick is the sound I make when I see the Batmobile. It's just like, She's like, hey buddy, you want to suck a big veiny dick? Like, no, I don't. I don't want to suck a big veiny dick.
No, I don't think I want to.
Get it away from me. Get away from me, Batmobile. Get away. Get it away.
Oh goddamn.
Too far. Sometimes we just go a little too far here on TGW.
A little too far.
We gotta have extra fun though when Brian's not when real Brian here is not here and Imposter Brian is here.
Imposter Brian in the building.
Imposter Brian's sweater is not. I mean, well, official Brian his sweater is not here today. So
I was really on the fence about getting all dressed up for today. Really on the fence about that.
you had to bring the sweater, man.
I opted to go casual.
Yes.
I had a nice shirt tie combo on, man. I would have looked great.
Yes. All right, so next up, this is something I've been covering ever since we got the original announcement because I played the game to death back on the 360 just because it was the only place I could play it, and it was amazing. Capcom's Dragon Dogma. This is Dark Arisen for PC. The system requirements finally got released. Going to do a quick rundown here, like we like to do. Minimum system requirements here: processor side, they're saying an i5 660 CPU or equivalent, and memory 4 gigabytes of RAM. Graphics a Radeon HD 5870 or equivalent. No mention here of Nvidia cards, man. What's up with that?
Strange. Yeah, you don't see it until you get into the recommended.
They don't.
It's really
They
strange
don't. They
for me.
don't. They don't mention Nvidia in the graphics, and they don't mention AMD for the processor.
Huh.
So kind of strange. But
you
DX9 only though.
Playing favorites.
Yeah. 22 gigabytes though they are saying it's going to support mouse and keyboard. This is one of the areas I'm kind of concerned about because for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, the Japanese ports, they can never seem to get mouse and keyboard right. It's like they don't know what they're doing. And I understand that in the Japanese market, PC is not really that popular in Japan.
Right.
But it's like, come on, just like get it right, please. I don't know. Hire an American. Hire someone. Hire Koreans. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
They're pretty close by, right? That's like pretty much right there, isn't it?
I'm not that good at geography. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
It seems like they're close.
Hang on a second. There's we have an asshat alert in the chat. There we go. He's gone.
My chat updates. I need to get on here.
Yeah. Anyway, so hopefully Capcom gets the mouse and keyboard inputs sorted out for this game because I've just seen a lot of Japanese ports, whatever reason, always Japanese games having issues with that in the past. But moving down to the recommended system requirements, they're really bumping up the CPU. They're i7-4770K. No mention of AMD though on the CPU. And then memory 8 gigabytes, and then graphics NVIDIA GeForce GTX 760 or equivalent, and then no mention of AMD. So it's like a complete flip-flop from the minimum side. I don't know. Really incomplete system requirements here from Capcom. That's kind of got me a little bit worried about the PC port quality of this game, if I'm being quite frank. It's got me a little concerned. To
Yeah,
say the
it's
least.
they're not really demanding requirements either. So is that to
No,
say
it's
well optimized, or it's just not going to be very impressive graphically?
the game is not amazing graphically. It's like it's an older DirectX 9 title, so it should run really well anyway. But I don't know. If they're saying a 4770K for some reason, it recommended. That's really weird for the graphics that are in this game. That sounds indicative of a really bad port. Because this doesn't match up. Like an i7 4770 with a 760, that doesn't really match up. Like that doesn't seem right. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see when it comes out, basically. But those specs sound kind of sketchy to me.
A little sketchy, yeah.
Come on, Japan, pull it off, Capcom. Anyway, speaking of our friends in Japan, not really. Right now, you can get all 3 current gen consoles for $570.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all pre-owned, it looks like, which is not in itself bad. I also love that the title says pre-owned next generation hardware. I think we're a little far in to be calling these systems next gen by now, right?
Yeah, it's current generation hardware. Even the article hadn't got it right, so they should get it right.
Yeah, somebody in the comments was quick to point that out in the actual comments on the link of this page. It's pretty funny.
What's that?
That this was that they're listed, like the top of the ad says current gen consoles.
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
when you delve into the ad, it says next generation hardware bundle by GameStop.
Yeah, so this is not too bad of a deal, really. I mean, this is like the price of one entry-level gaming PC, and you get 3 entry-level gaming PCs. It's not too bad.
Not bad if that's your thing. That's what you're into.
I mean, then you'd have all of the exclusives covered. At least we can get down to the 1080 60 FPS ones. Like I've been playing Uncharted collection recently on the PS4, which is absolutely abysmal on a controller. Trying to aim in that thing, but it's Uncharted though.
That's probably the only thing that would make me pick up a PS4. I played all 3 Uncharted games on PS3, and they're phenomenal games.
Yeah, I got the collection I got a code for $20 on like CD keys. I was just like, yeah, for all those games, I was like, yeah, let's do it. I'll dust off the PS4 for that.
Yeah.
Play some through the Uncharted games. But like Xbox One, really not much of a draw there. I would take a Wii. If I could, I don't know if you could play the old Wii games, then I think you can, because they're usually pretty good about backwards compatibility. I would like to play Mario Universe, stuff like that. I never got a chance to play those. As long as those are like 1080 60 FPS, I would definitely rock out on those.
It's funny to me. I didn't grow up. My parents stunted my growth when I was a kid because when everybody in the neighborhood got the NES, I got the Sega Master System, which made me an outcast in grade school. And I just kind of stayed on that Sega and that Sony timeline. I think I owned an N64. I think I had an N64. But other than that, I've never owned a Nintendo console.
Yeah, I had the original Nintendo growing up. Definitely, I grew up on that. Had that, got that for like Christmas one year, I think, with like Duck Hunt and the gun and the full 9 yards. I had Mario 3 and Contra and all that, and Castlevania growing up. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I had every console growing up, every major console you could think of. Through that,
I had to go to the
90s.
I had to go to the buddy's house to play NES, and then I had to go home to my Sega Master System.
I was the buddy's house. All my buddies came to my house. My friend used to always have like 3 generations back of a console, and he'd be coming to my house to like play like he'd come over to play like NFL 2K and stuff. Like I was like, oh yeah, let's play some NFL 2K or ESPN football. ESPN football was good shit on like Sega Saturn, I think it was.
Yeah,
Sega Saturn was legit.
I like the Dreamcast.
Dreamcast was
one of my favorite
Dreamcast
consoles
was
ever.
good. Dreamcast, that's what it was. NFL 2K on Dreamcast. Yeah, that shit was good, man. I loved NFL 2K on there. I remember those controllers that had the little screens in there, the little 8-bit screens that you stick. Not even 8-bit. It was like no bit. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like one of those Tamagotchi keychains. It was that kind of graphics, like a Tiger LCD game.
Basically, yeah. It's like you just slide that in there and you just had your saves on there. But it was good. I remember it was good for NFL 2K because you could pick your plays without your friend seeing. So it was like,
Yep.
So I remember I used to play with my friend and he didn't have one because he was at my house, but I did. So I could still see the screen out of the corner of my eye, and he's like, "You're cheating and looking at my plays." I'm like, I'm just like, "No, I'm not looking at your plays. This isn't fair. I can't see your plays. You can see my plays." I'm like, "I'm not looking at your plays. Look, I'm not looking at your plays."
You were totally looking at his
I was
play.
totally looking at his plays. Just get that out of there, Sammy B. I was looking at his plays. Good old Sammy B. Sorry, Sam. He's not watching. Oh man, I need a shit. Anyway. Next up on the next topic on the docket here, we got NVIDIA GeForce 361.43 WHQL driver now available. This did some SLI fixes for Battlefront and Windows 10. It looks like people were talking about. Also improved the power draw issues that people had been talking about. The PC Perd did a big coverage on with the as far as the power usage is concerned with high refresh rate G-Sync monitors. Honestly, this isn't something I was really affected by. I mean, I probably was, but it's not something I really cared about. I was like, so what's the drawback at the end of the day? It's like an extra $1 a year on my power bill. It's like I'm not really worried about this, honestly.
Yeah, we get to be condescending about that because power doesn't cost a whole lot. So if I'm going to run it 144 regardless, it's not like I'm going to go, oh shit, I'm using too much power. Time to kick it back down.
Dude,
to 60.
Nvidia could have sent me an email and saying, sorry, our bad, the driver messed up. It's going to cost you an extra $100 for this year to run your monitor on your electric bill. I would definitely be pissed off Nvidia, but at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I'm still going to pay it because the monitor's great. I'm still going to pay for it.
I got to touch on something here in bug fixes for this driver because out of the 4 major points they mentioned, one of the points is momentary loss of signal after scoring first goal in Rocket League. I think that says so much for the popularity of Rocket League that this little indie title that virtually everybody I know plays this game, so much so that NVIDIA's had to go back to the drawing board for this itty bitty indie title to fix this because it's obviously been pissing people off in Rocket League. That says a lot for Rocket League and their dev team. Like, solid job, boys. Way to go.
Definitely. Good fix all around. And we covered the whole 144 Hz fix, which is the Extreme Tech topic. So next up that we had here was kind of wanted to go through our most anticipated games for 2016. And my first one that I had up here for this was Doom. Doom. And when you say Doom, you can't just say Doom. No, it's Doom. Doom. Are you an old school Doom guy?
Absolutely, man.
Old school Doom back in the day?
Yeah, absolutely. We were running like the first time you could actually do multiplayer over dial-up, and it was just 1v1, and it was the shit. We sunk so much time into that. It was so cool.
Yeah, the Doom multiplayer, yeah, definitely the dial-up.
Yeah.
I remember like Doom and Duke Nukem. Me and my friends used to we would dial up each other's like house phone, and like you had to make sure your mom wasn't on the phone in the other room.
Ma,
get
pick
off
up the phone.
Don't pick up the phone. Like the phone's ringing. I'm waiting for a phone call from your father. Like, don't pick up the phone. Damn it. Playing Doom.
Yeah, how could you not be stoked about Doom? This is one of those titles that like we're only on like what our fourth real iteration, but this goes back to like really the dawn of PC gaming and multiplayer. So it's if you've grown up in that timeline, like yeah, you're still like I'm old as shit. I'm still excited for Doom to come out. Still excited. Doom 3 still looks phenomenal when you mod it all out. It looks great.
Yeah, it's amazing. The BFG edition looked really good on Doom 3 when that came out. It looked impressive. I mean, anywhere near as good as like any some of these modern DirectX 9 titles that are coming out looked on par with those, I'd say.
Yeah,
It's pretty damn good. And yeah, the old games obviously don't look playable much by a lot of today's standards. I mean, if you were around back then, you can appreciate them, but I mean, if you didn't play them, then probably back then the chances are probably you can't get into it right now.
right.
But I'm looking forward to Doom for sure. I didn't get a chance to play the recent alpha that a lot of people are talking about.
I didn't either. It was like it ran for 2 days and I did not get in. I was at work the entire 2-day period and hating life because I was not at home playing the closed alpha.
Yeah. Hang on a second here. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So next one up on here was Star Citizen. Star Citizen definitely one people have been waiting for pretty much for ages.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing this pretty much since they started rolling out the different sections of the game. Have you been playing it all? Did you buy into it yet?
No, I
Or are you
passed.
still waiting?
Still waiting.
You're just,
I'm like,
wait, we're gonna wait, playing the wait and see game right now.
yeah, I get like that with the early access titles. I'm not a big buy-in for early access. I'd like to see it when it's finished and polished. I don't have a lot of time, so I don't like spending my time being a beta tester or an alpha tester. I'd rather wait until it's like, hey, it's done. We're proud of it. Here you go.
Yeah. All right. So I actually have to. We're gonna have to. You had 3 games that you had picked out as well, and I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and start running through those right now for the audience because I actually have to go and run to the bathroom. I wouldn't do this to you unless it was an emergency, Brian.
Sounds like an emergency.
It is an emergency. So Brian, BadSeedTech right now is going to take over TGW for like a brief, maybe 2 to 4 minute period here, while I go to the bathroom. So he's going to run through a couple of his top. You had like 3 of his games for top anticipated for 2016. So he's going to start running through those YOLO Stolo style. So I'll be right back though.
I pray for a quick cleanup, Joker,
All right,
so
man.
you get back.
I'll be right back.
All right, so my upcoming titles for 2016, leading the pack for me has got to be Hitman. Big fan of the series, big fan of the series, and I think the most exciting thing about this one that's coming out is that it kind of goes back to the framework of Blood Money, which was easily my favorite iteration of the series, only because the mission structure was set up like small sandboxes. You play the same mission over and over and over and over again, and figure out different ways to solve it, and it was fun. Just you could sit there and just pick it apart for a long time. And they got away from that with the last release, and they made it like this linear thing. I think they tried to appeal to a lot more people, and yeah, ouch! It did not hit the mark for me. It was still Hitman. I still played it, but it lacked a lot of the panache, I guess, of the earlier Hitman series. So I'll be really stoked to see this thing come out. Second up on my list, Resident Evil 0 HD remake. I'm a huge fan of the original Resident Evils, probably up through 4. I would say up through 4. 5 and 6 did not do a lot for me. The new play style was kind of whatever, but I prefer the old clunky, suspenseful tank controls. I like the bad viewing angles. That's totally a nostalgia thing. If you did not get on board with Resident Evil early in the game, then a lot of that's probably lost on you. But hopefully this HD remake is handled a little bit better for the PC port than the last one. The graphics were, let's just say they were not HD remake. If you were on a console, they looked HD. But as far as PC goes, they could have done a lot better. I think they maxed out at like 1080p. So if you're running a higher monitor, you're automatically playing downscaled. And it just was not what it needed to be. But I'll be kind of stoked to see what they do with this. Street Fighter V. Oh, man. I love me some fighting games. Really stoked to see Killer Instinct. Also really, really stoked for Street Fighter V. Fighting games are just cool, man, especially if they nail the netcode because it's the best. Like, it's 1v1, man. It's not so much about knowing the mechanics of the game. You know, you can get the moves down pretty quick. It's about learning your opponent and picking them apart. So fighting games really, they go a long way for me. So Street Fighter V, I have really high hopes. I have not got into the closed beta that they're doing right now, or whatever, open beta closed. I don't even know what it was, but I missed out. So I'll be getting that at retail when everybody else gets it. Also, really looking forward to Deus Ex. Shit, how could we not talk about Deus Ex? It was the first game I played when I built my gaming PC, and not the original Deus Ex, but like the remake, whose subtitle escapes me right now. But this follows the Adam Jensen storyline again, and it just looks really upgraded and really incredible. So if it's anywhere nearly as good as the last game with some graphical updates, that'll be spectacular. Reading in the chats like true boss would do dabs on live TV. No, we're not going to do that. Not today. Tyler says RE4 is my favorite game of all time. RE4 was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. I can't tell you how many times I played through that game, unlocking the weapons and everything else. Just really great mechanics. Who remembers Dead or Alive? Dead or Alive was phenomenal. I had Dead or Alive LE on the Dreamcast. I played the living daylights out of that on the Dreamcast, and it was really, really. I sunk a lot of hours into that. I was dating a girl at the time who was a fighting game fanatic as well, so we sharpened our skills against each other the whole time, sitting there on the. I see. I probably owned a futon back then, so if that tells you anything.
All right, I'm back. What game are we talking about?
Hey, we just ran through Hitman, Resident Evil 0, and I was kind of talking about Deus Ex.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely a classic Deus Ex fan from back in the day.
Yeah, it was. I did not get on the original until way later, and I think graphically there's kind of a disconnect there.
There's some actually some pretty decent mods for it. Actually, you want to check
There's some
them
good
out?
mods out there. There's some good texture mods and stuff out there. And the story, I guess, was just absolutely incredible. I have still not completed. Oh God, this is sacrilege. I can't even believe I'm about to say this live, but I have still not completed the original Deus Ex. But Human Revolution, I did.
That's okay. There's a lot of old school games out there that I haven't finished. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like people yell at me for games from this year, like, "Oh, you just finished GTA 5 now. You still haven't finished Witcher 3. You don't play any. You never finish your games, Joker." I'm just like, whatever. I finish what games ever I finish.
So I see Cyberpunk 2077 on your list.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll put that one next for sure. So this is definitely a big one on my list, obviously, because like Witcher 3, obviously. So this is from CD Projekt Red, and awesome setting. I'm looking forward to seeing them breaking away from the fantasy universe and seeing what they could do with this. And it's also definitely got that Deus Ex type vibe because I'm a fan of Deus Ex, so this definitely rings Deus Ex, to me. It's very much like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they could do with that.
I'm stoked, man. Cyberpunk is such a that just has a special place in my heart. That whole genre. So to see that done really well on modern day hardware with those guys behind it, especially, I've got extremely high hopes for that game.
Oh yeah, and plus they do such good optimization and they really focus on the PC, so that's obviously important to PC guys like us. And it's important to note that we do not know for sure it's coming out in 2016, but very likely we should be getting more information at least in 2016, but probably won't get the game until 2017 just because we haven't seen any marketing information yet for this game. And with Witcher 3, we, by this point, by now, we would have already seen something probably. If I were to guess, I would say we're probably going to finally see gameplay at E3, probably in 2016, and then we'll see, a release maybe in early 2017, maybe around the same time that Witcher 3 came out, maybe later in the year to try to hit that holiday release schedule. Personally, I really like that April release that Witcher had. I love when games come out earlier in the year. Just so we have something to play, and it's a good time for games like that to come out. Those open world titles, and Rockstar has always kind of hit that schedule point with a lot of their titles. GTA 5 this year came out in April. I remember for a few years it was like LA Noire, GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption, all came out like one after the next, all in April, boom, 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 3 years straight in a row. So
one thing's for sure, we don't know when it's going to drop, but we know that they will delay that son of a bitch until it is absolutely perfect when it comes out, and I'm totally okay with that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's annoying, but at the same time, you respect it because when Witcher 3 came out, you could sit down, you could play that game. It may have had a couple of bugs, but for the most part, you could just sit down and play that game from start to finish without really having too much breaking up your experience. At least for me, that's how it was.
Absolutely. The delay on GTA 5 for PC, that was well worth the wait. I would take your time. don't hand me a broken piece of shit. I'm not necessarily looking at you, Fallout 4, but I'm kind of looking at you. I mean, that game was so good. I played through the bullshit to be able to play that game. It would crash to desktop constantly when I first got it, and I'd be like, oh, well, I just lost 20 minutes. Time to jump right back in. But that takes a hell of a game to make you overlook technical deficiencies like that.
Yeah, so someone mentioned in the comments that they don't think I finished going over Star Citizen. Yeah, I guess the only last thing I would really add about Star Citizen, I mean, we've talked about it so much here on the show already. I mean, we know it's graphically impressive. It's been hyped up for ages now, so we're really just waiting for it to come out. But the most exciting thing that I've been seeing recently that has me amped up for it is the campaign stuff. The stuff where they're bringing in the likes of Gary Oldman and Mark Strong and doing all the voice acting and the motion capture and all that stuff. That kind of stuff excites me because I've always been, I don't know, somewhat appreciative of motion capture and that whole art style. So I appreciate that and voice acting also. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. The story aspect of Star Citizen. That's the last thing I would add on that though.
All right, I just want to ask because I want to get your take on this. I led in with Hitman. What is your stance on the Hitman series? Where do you fall with Hitman?
I like Hitman. The last one didn't really thrill me too much. I didn't think it was anywhere near as good as Blood Money.
There you go.
I thought they made it way too simplified. The whole highlighting shit through the world and being able to see everything is like, I was like, this is not a Hitman game. This is like every other game out there like this.
Yep, they dumbed it down big time. I think you just almost said verbatim what I said when I led into it. But I'm stoked that how they're heralding this is that they're going back to the mini sandbox, the same setup from Blood Money. And if they can manage to nail that, I'm on board. I'm super on board for that.
I hope so. It seems like they're trying to just do it the same thing they did with Absolution, though. They're just like, I don't know. It seems like they want to find a formula and then just roll out updates to it annually or something. It's like I think that's what all those companies are doing nowadays. Like especially like Square Enix, they started out rolling out some of these big titles, and now it seems like they want to kind of get into this rhythm where, like they've got like, Hitman, Tomb Raider. What's the other one that they did also? Can't remember right now.
Drawing a blank.
But Square Enix has handled. Deus Ex. There you go. Deus Ex. So yeah, they've been handling a lot of these older titles, and I'm afraid that they want to just kind of find a formula with all of them, so they can kind of annualize them, like a lot of other, like Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty and like Battlefield now pretty much is doing.
Or Far Cry. Can we just talk about Far Cry Primal for a second? Is anybody stoked? I want to hear from the chat. Is anybody stoked about Far Cry Primal? I think it's really weird. And I love everything Far Cry's done, with the exception of 4 that broke my heart.
I was excited when I thought it was going to be like Blood Dragon and it was going to be like $20. When it was going to be like $20. Now that they're saying it's like $60, I was like, well, you better give me a full fucking Far Cry game.
Can they flesh this thing out? If in caveman days, am I going to spend, 30 hours clubbing people to death with a piece of wood? That's not going to work for me.
I mean, are they basically going to deliver for $60? They basically going to deliver us a nicer looking version of Rust with some sort of caveman narrative.
See,
and bases and towers, many towers and bases.
Yeah, I got to climb those radio towers. I got really down on Far Cry 4 because 3, I think, pushed the needle so far from 2. 2 was great, aside from the constant malaria. 2 was a really solid game.
The malaria didn't bother me. I just want to say that right now. Malaria.
I didn't like my weapon breaking either. It always happened at the absolute worst fucking possible time, as if they had
I liked that. I liked that the weapons broke in the game. I enjoyed that aspect.
I guess it gave you a different. You never really got to that point in 2 where you felt like a god. You were always kind of like, oh shit, malaria could strike at any moment, or this AK could fall apart.
See, that's what Far Cry should be about. It shouldn't be like, I don't know. It's weird. You don't think it's weird? Like, oh, here's Jason Brody, this guy who's like, hey man, what's up, man? We're just on an island chilling, bro. And then all of a sudden, oh shit, I'm a fucking marksman with an AK-47.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah, like no, it doesn't work like that. Like you would be like Muddy, and your weapon would be breaking, and you wouldn't understand why your weapon was breaking. You'd be like, fuck, and you'd have to get the fuck out of there because that's how it would be.
The worst fucking aim ever. I never understood about the Brody plot line. Is it's like, so this douchey Mountain Dew commercial guy, who's probably a Silver Spoon kid, gets dropped on an island, and less than 24 hours later, he's a hardened killing machine with chain takedowns, and it's like it was so. The whole Brody plotline really sucked. 3's game mechanics were incredibly fun, but the Yeah, the the Brody character, the Brody.
What
character fucking sucks.
what about Ajigale?
I don't like it. I
Ajigale.
fucking hate it. I hate that. I don't. There's really very few things I like about Fallout 4 or Far Cry 4.
Yeah,
Really
I don't
very
like
few things I like about
Far Cry 4. I'm not a big fan of. I just couldn't get into it. It just seemed really shallow, and also it had a lot of SLI issues when it first came out. That was the big deterrent to me. And then when it finally did get fixed, I was like, I couldn't really care anymore.
Dude, it didn't really get fixed. That's the thing. Like, I still duck my head in every once in a while to see if an update's cleared anything up. I still have flicker and all kinds of bullshit. And trying to run it on single card, even on a 980 Ti, dude, you're looking at 35 frames per second pretty much the entire time. And there's sections where it drops down way below that. It is the worst optimized piece of shit they gave us. Probably the last year, easy.
So my last most anticipated title here is Mass Effect Andromeda. So I've played all the Mass Effect games to death. We were actually just talking about this earlier. You wanted to get into them and start picking them up, and I was kind of warning Brian that the first one's a little bit dated compared to the others, but the second and third ones are really good. At least I know that's actually, I know hardcore fans of the series will actually bite my head off for saying that. So I should actually watch what I say from here on out. Because a lot of hardcore fans of the series love the first one. And because the first one does have the strongest story, I think. And the strongest characters, but the gameplay is a little stiff, a little dated on the gameplay style. That's all where I'm coming from. And the majority of the time is spent in the gameplay, so that's why I wasn't a big fan of the stiffness of the shooting mechanics and all that in the west one, which they polished as the game went along.
See, I just missed all that. So if I'm coming in cold to Mass Effect, where do I start?
Mass
Do I
Effect
still
1.
have to
You got to
start
start
with the first one?
You got to
start from the beginning.
You got to start from Mass Effect 1. Just be prepared for basically what happens, in my opinion anyway, from Mass Effect 1 to 3 is that you gradually see the gameplay getting better, the combat getting better and better and better, and the story getting worse and worse and worse. So be prepared for that's basically what happens there. And then at some point they intersect in 2, and it's like a perfect marriage, and 2 is the best.
Yeah.
2 is the best because it's right in the middle. And then 3 and 1 are like extremes. Like 3 has really like snappy, like modern mechanics, like cover system and all that stuff. If you're into all that, it's got all of that polished really well. But then the story is Mass Effect 3. I can't really say anything else there without spoiling it, but everyone in chat that knows Mass Effect 3 knows Mass Effect 3. So there it is. But I'm looking forward to Mass Effect Andromeda because I want to see what they're going to do with this. See if they're going to take it further than what they've done before, or if it's just going to basically be like Dragon Age Inquisition in space, and they're just basically just ironing out their little RPG formula again. I'm hoping they take some risks here and try to do something big with the new Mass Effect. Personally.
So what do you think of the Division? Are you stoked on this thing at all? Are you even the least bit excited about what this is going to offer?
Yeah, I'm excited about it, but I've heard some early reports that maybe it's going to be a little bit generic. So I'm anticipating it as much as any other game. If I got to be honest, I mean there are a few games that I look forward to more than others, but for the most part, everything's kind of on the same parallel, and that's kind of just sitting right there, right there on that level. Like, yeah, it's on my radar. I'm definitely going to play it when it comes out. I'm definitely going to be talking about it on the channel. It's just another game.
It's been a development for so long. At this point, it had better be good. And the fact that it's Ubisoft makes me a little reticent, but I think is it safe to say they've been trying a little harder lately to not be such dicks as a publisher?
Who's that? EA?
Ubisoft.
Oh, Ubisoft. Yeah, I would say that it seems like they're trying to do a little bit better. Like they've actually patched Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Rainbow Six Siege. Strange.
Yeah. I have not played Siege yet, and I'm foaming at the mouth to jump into Siege, and I have not had time to get into that. Fallout 4 has literally eaten my life for the past 30 days.
Dude, you need to get into Siege. You need to get on that.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
Yes, I do.
My basically right now my days are Witcher 3 and my evenings are Rainbow Six Siege, which is why I've not been uploading many videos.
It says the guy who's still cranking out 2 to 3 a week right now.
Yeah, but I was doing one like every day.
I don't know how you keep up that schedule.
It's just that's what I do. That's my job. So that's how I keep it up. If you got to think about it like that.
Yeah. If I put 65 hours a week into YouTube instead of my horrible day job.
Oh, I just switched over to Hot Hardware to talk about this Hot Hardware story on Fury X2, and It just got really bright in here. It's a really bright screen. All of a sudden, this is our sprinkling of tech for the day. So why don't I let you go ahead and lead into this story, Brian? Since
All right.
since the other Brian would usually lead on the tech stories, I'll let you lead on this one.
Yeah, here we go. So what we're looking at is a dual GPU R9 Fury X2. So it's going to be two GPUs on the same card. And the cool part here is that we're seeing this HBM memory. And up until now, on the AMD side, we've been limited with the HBM to 4 gig. But it's lightning fast. But because of that speed, they've had to sacrifice. They say it's the same thing. Like it's comparable to seeing 6 gig on an Nvidia card. You know, we don't know how it stacks up, but what I can say is not only do you get 2 GPUs on this thing, but your HBM memory is going to stack. So you're getting 8 gig, and it's going to run as fast as the HBM. So this card could be a beast. But we were supposed to see it in fall of 2015, and we're supposed to see it in wintertime, and now it's being held off until 2016 because of some VR stuff.
What?
They want to.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, go ahead.
No. Please keep going with the VR. I forgot about the VR. Keep going.
Yeah, that seems to be the big delay, and I've been really guilty of completely ignoring the whole VR angle. But it seems like, I mean, if they're holding off for that in particular, hopefully they've got something really hot up their sleeve when this thing drops. Seems like AMD is going to really try to give their last big swing for the fences in 2016 with Zen and with this card. I have no idea what this thing's going to cost. It's probably going to cost an arm and a leg. But this could be a beast.
That's the thing. That's the thing I was going to say before. I was going to inject is with the price. See,
Yeah.
if they can come in with the price on this and be really competitive, like they did with like the 295 X2 or the 690, where that was like priced at like $700.
Right.
If they did something like this where it came to market, it was like $750, $800, and it was really competitive, and it was really marketed as a VR card, which it really would be. It really would be a true VR card with 8 gigabytes of usable HBM with dual Fury chips there for a headset, you know, VR headset where you're basically needing to run the game twice essentially, and you're wanting to get really high frames, take advantage of that 90 hertz. If you're on the Oculus Rift, it has a 90 hertz refresh rate, so you want to take advantage of that, get that as smooth as possible. Because with the VR, it's all going to be about immersion. You break that frame rate, it's going to be even worse than playing on a 144 hertz monitor.
Yeah, worse, you get like motion sickness and, you know, vomit all over your extremely expensive VR headset. But I think this is what's exciting about this for me and all the dual GPU cards in general is that I'm moving to some smaller builds. I'm moving to some builds that only support, you know, one PCI Express lane.
Yeah.
And I know you just got it done with your LAN syndicate build. This would be amazing to put this kind of power in a teeny tiny computer that you could throw in a suitcase.
Oh yeah, that Silverstone case holds a full 13-inch GPU. If I could squeeze that into there, if I were to be able to put that in there, like,
Yeah.
what's going on? What's going
monster.
on? Absolute monster of a system that would be. So yeah, but
Okay.
but unfortunately, it looks like it got delayed till 2016. So sorry, what were you going to say?
I want to touch on this real quick because I'm seeing in the chat. There's this. I don't like the clickbait title that's been going out around this about this topic. It says Samsung are apparently bringing a GPU out.
Okay, yeah, that's right. And you mentioned that you wanted to bring that topic. I forgot to get the link from you, but yeah, we could talk about that too today.
I felt very clickbaited into this because I'm like, holy shit, like a Samsung GPU? Wow. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
love their SSD performance. Like, that raises eyebrows.
Well, I
Okay.
knew it was clickbait because NCIX's YouTube channel used it in their title.
Yeah, buddy. Yes, they did. And the big thing here is that, like, it's not a Samsung branded GPU. What's going on is that AMD is going to utilize some of the Samsung factory to help with the production overhead for the 14 nanometer chips that's coming out in the next gen AMD chips. So, yeah, the chip is manufactured by Samsung, but it's going to be 50% those and 50% in the existing factory they're using. So to call it a Samsung GPU is a huge misnomer. Like, yeah, they produce the chip, but it's not like it's going to say Samsung down the side of it when you put it in your case. All they're doing is producing the GPU according to AMD specs. They're just utilizing factory space. So anything you're seeing about these articles, this is all clickbait bullshit right now.
WCCF tech stuff.
yeah, there, exactly.
WCCF Tech NCIX news story coverage topics. So, all right, so we're going to be transitioning into our final topic of the day, and I just noticed that moving into this, I was going to mention this just an offhand thing because I saw this into a really good deal. Private internet access happens to be if you go through Hot Hardware. Like, I was on there because one of our news topics was actually covered by them, and they had a thing up that they're actually, I guess, partnered up with Private Internet Access right now, which is the VPN that I use, and for a 2-year subscription, it's $60. Now, usually it's $40 for a year, which is what I pay. So $60 for 2 years right now is a really good deal. That's the best I've seen for private internet access. That's a really good price. And it's also kind of fitting because the next topic we're going to be talking about is our DVD Screener Awards.
Yes.
So it's kind of fitting
Very
to
prestigious award.
it was kind of fitting for us to tell you about the this VPN being on sale right now as we're transitioning now into our favorite DVD screeners that are currently available for you to torrent. Now we're not promoting piracy.
No.
We're just saying these things are out there. Like,
they're out there. If
I'm
you
just
want to
saying,
cover your tracks, VPN is a perfect way to to maintain your privacy.
I'm
You
just
get the game
saying-
a couple days early or something.
I'm just saying there's a reason that the Hateful Eight already has a rating on IMDb, even though it's not out until January 1st. It already has 73 user scores on there.
Right.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. There you go.
VPN,
VPN.
private internet access. Get it? Anyway, so it 'tis the season. 'Tis the season. As most people, anyone that has been torrenting or hasn't been living under a rock on the internet for like the last, I don't know, forever, around this time of the year is basically when all the DVD screeners start rolling in. And the reason for that is that the big award shows are coming up, and they basically have to, a lot of these movies that are coming out towards the end of the year, where the critics and stuff, the people that vote on like the Oscars, if they haven't had ample enough time to see it in cinema or on a DVD or Blu-ray release, then they have to submit screeners. So movies that come out towards the end of the year, or movies that are maybe coming out in January, like Hateful Eight, things like that, they have to issue out DVD screeners to these critics so that they could watch it in a reasonable amount of time before they have to vote and everything. So obviously those always get leaked online. And
It's a fun time of year. It's a really fun time of year.
basically, basically what happens is one day you'll just come online to your favorite tracker and you'll just see every movie that you could possibly want to see, just like boom, 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 boom. Just like, and you're just like, oh, 'tis the season to be jolly, DVD screen, da da da. So
solid.
yeah, one of the first ones that was up was actually the Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino's new movie, which I'm sure he's super pissed about.
He's got to be pissed.
I'm sure he's
gotta
pissed. I'm sure he's raging. And I just want to throw it out there before we get into any of these movie titles that I go to the movies like literally on a weekly basis. Okay, so as far as like supporting the artist and all that, I support the artist because I'll probably still go see the Hateful Eight in cinema anyway. And all these other, like some of these movies that I'm going to be talking about, I actually have already seen in the movies. 2 of these movies, actually, I've already seen in the movies. And I would have seen them in the movies either way. The only reason for really seeing the screeners, I think, is the convenience, and you get to see it early. It's the exclusivity. That's the enticing part about it.
And it makes you feel like you're part of the process when the
little
thing comes up at the bottom. It's for your consideration. You're like, ooh, you sit up a little in your chair, like, all right, let's see what you got.
It's exciting, and you're getting to see it ahead, maybe before it's even in cinemas. So like your friends are just like, oh, like January rolls around and like they're going to see the Hateful Eight. I was like, oh, I saw that like 2 weeks ago. Like I watched it in my living room, like with Stacy. Like it was great. It's like,
remember
it's like,
though,
are you going to the movies to pay $50? It's like I could burn you a copy. I could burn you a copy, Bill. It's no problem.
You said something on Twitter the other day that cracked me up, though. It's like, guys, aren't we a little past the DVD screeners? Remember that when that was the ultimate fucking quality you could get? You're like, oh shit, it's a DVD screener. Fuck yeah. Call the people over watching movies tonight. And now it's like, oh, like they might as well have mailed you a VHS.
Yeah, well, it's like that's what I was saying. It's like, why don't they have Blu-ray screeners now? Last year there was I can't remember what it was, but there was one movie that had a 720p screener, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, why aren't they doing this with all of them? It's like that needs to be a thing.
All right, so Hateful Eight is definitely up there on your list. What else made
Definitely
the
Quentin
screener awards?
Tarantino. So this next one I actually already saw in cinema. Bridge of Spies, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg. I mean, how could you go wrong there? Cold War era spy movie. Saw this in theaters like a little while ago. I went and caught like a matinee. Actually, caught this by myself. It was actually the first movie I'd seen by myself in like probably like 7-8 years.
Is that a weird feeling?
It was kind of weird, yeah. But it was cool. I went like on a Wednesday. I woke up. I was just like, I didn't feel like working on any videos. I was like, and I saw like the matinee was playing for this. I was like, it's $5. I was like, yeah, I'll go see Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg. How do you go wrong there? And it was great. The movie was fantastic. I was like, this is awesome. So that's up on Screener right now. You can get that. Have you seen this yet or no?
I have not seen Bridge of Spies. It is in my queue. It is downloaded and awaiting my my free time to check it out. But it's definitely on the list.
Yeah, it's a Spielberg, Tom Hanks. I mean, what else more do you need to say really about that one?
Sure.
The next one here, I have this downloaded, haven't watched it yet. Revenant looks awesome. Tom Hardy, Domhnall Gleeson, Leonardo DiCaprio, like three of like my favorite like male actors around there right now.
Yeah.
Domhnall Gleeson is actually like one of my favorite like young actors like coming up. I saw him in what was the name of that time traveling movie? Shit, I can't think of it right now, but it was awesome. But he was also really good in Star Wars. How can we not talk about Star Wars? Actually, Star Wars came out, man. Did you see Star Wars yet?
I did not see Star Wars yet.
Oh fuck!
Did not see Star Wars yet. And the real criminal thing here is that if you know me in real life, I'm kind of a dick. So all my buddies, nobody wants to go see Star Wars. Like I can't find anybody that's like, anytime I ask, they're like, fucking Star Wars, dickhead. Like, no, I'm not going to go see Star Wars. So that might be the movie that I go see on my lonesome, because I can't
Damn.
twist anybody's arm to go see Star Wars with me.
I went and saw it yesterday for my second time. I drug one of my friends to go see it. Actually, he's like someone that no one would go see him with because he's like a musclehead, but he's like a closet nerd where he's like into like Star Wars and like Harry Potter and shit. So like,
feel.
but like none of his friends like will go watch that with him or his wife. So it's like, yeah, let's go see Star Wars, man. Let's go see fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, if Mark Wahlberg's not in it, fuck you. I'm not going.
Fucking Mark Wahlberg. I need a fucking knife to cut. But yeah, Revenant looks good though. I'm gonna watch this pretty soon, probably maybe tonight if I can pull myself away from The Witcher 3 long enough.
This is like DiCaprio's like stranded in the wilderness, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting looking movie, but I don't know, just all-star cast. Tom Hardy's just been lighting it up, man. Just one good role right after the next.
Tom Hardy's a beast, man. Tom Hardy is a beast. His role as Bane single-handedly got my ass off the couch and back into the gym because I was under the misnomer that a few months in the gym and I could look like Bane. I was all fucking about that life.
Yeah, I've been watching him ever since like Bronson. Bronson was like his first movie I ever saw.
Bronson was phenomenal. Such a phenomenal movie.
Here's the thing. One of my friend I just went and saw Star Wars with was asking me about it yesterday. He was like, dude, can you tell me this movie Bronson? Like, I want to see this movie Bronson. I was like, I heard about Bronson. He's like, is it good? I was like, yes, it's really, really good. But I want to prepare you for this. There's a lot of dong in it. And he's like, what? I was just like, there's a lot of penis in it. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, there's a lot of penis in it, man. He's like, all right, I don't want to watch it anymore. It's a little
dong heavy.
It is very dong heavy. I just watched it recently, and it was very dong heavy. It's like I think I hadn't seen it in a while since it had first came out, and I think I had maybe when I had first seen it, I had underestimated the amount of dong in this movie. But there is a lot of dong in Bronson. Like the last 45 minutes is just Tom Hardy's floppy dick like bouncing around. Like if anyone in chat right now is like got a major hard on for Tom Hardy, it's like just go watch Bronson. Like there you go.
A figurative or a literal hard on for Tom Hardy. It's your movie either way.
Either way, yeah. Either way, or if you just want to see what Tom Hardy's dong looks like, because
Hey.
I'm not one to judge. You might just be curious. I'm not one to judge here.
Yeah, hey.
Brian's feeling weirded out. I can tell.
I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm making for the door right now.
He's making for the door. Get out of here. So next up on our DVD Screener Awards here is Steve Jobs. I saw this in cinema also. It's kind of a weird one. It wasn't as good as I didn't think it was good as the Ashton Kutcher one, but it was still pretty damn good. Good writing anyway from Aaron Sorkin, as he always does.
Yeah, I love Sorkin. I love everything he's ever touched. All his series are good. The only thing I never made it through successfully was like all 7 seasons of West Wing. I
couldn't get into that.
I bailed.
This wasn't anywhere near as good as Social Network, but it was still a good movie though.
Yeah, it was up there.
Yep.
Legend.
Yeah.
Not real hip legend.
Oh man, have you seen the trailers for it?
I gotta jog my memory real quick.
So, oh man, this is awesome. This is Tom.
This is another Tom Hardy. This
Yes.
guy's on fire right now.
Dude, in this movie, he plays the twin brothers Reggie and Ronnie Cray, which are legendary British gangsters from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Like British gangster flicks are one of your top fave genres, and they're absolutely one of mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
slept on this one.
yeah. So this one actually, this is like I would have gone and seen this in cinema immediately. It's already out in the UK cinema, and it's got a really soft release here in the States. You can only go see it at really like small cinemas in some places. So when I saw it got uploaded, I was really excited because I think he might win an Oscar for this because he plays both of the twin brothers at the same time. and the cinematography, like during the scenes when they're on screen at the same time, are flawless. Like the best I've ever seen in a movie where it has like an actor playing multiple roles. Like when they're like physically fighting with each other, it's seamless, absolutely
Nice.
seamless.
Yeah, it'll be worth checking out. Maybe I'll hit that one up tonight.
It's definitely worth watching. And his
No dongs, though, right?
nuts, not that I've seen, no dong so far. But the voice, his acting in it is amazing. Though one of the characters is really strong. Actually, no, I'm sorry. There is dongs. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Of course there is. The chat is literally on fire right now with dong conversation.
I'm
right
sorry. There's dongs. There's dongs. Someone said Tom Hardon.
Now. Oh man. Oh, good stuff. Communal showers. This chat has gone totally off the fucking rails right now.
It's gone legend.
That's good shit.
So last one up on here before we burn on out of here is something else I already saw in the movies was Creed. This one really caught me by surprise, man. Like I've always loved the Rocky movies. Like what dude hasn't loved the Rocky movies?
Yeah, dude. There's something wrong with you if you don't like Rocky movies.
But I think we can agree that as of late they've been slipping.
Yeah, I mean he's getting a little older, man, and I mean
Well, since ever since after Rocky IV, it's been kind of not great.
Rocky IV was like the high watermark, especially like how old I was when that movie came out. Like, I didn't even have a reason to dislike Russians, and I hated Russians after Rocky IV, man.
Yeah, when that came out, I was like, you fucking commie bastards. It's like,
Yeah.
tensions were high at that time.
Yeah, I thought Creed was good. I mean, it's your basic Stallone. Rocky.
So you saw this one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did, and I was, it was exactly what I was expecting. But I'm still that little kid, like watching the end of Karate Kid when Daniel Crane kicks the guy. Like I still get goosebumps and like want to get up out of my chair and punch somebody in the face every time I watch a Rocky movie. It does that to you. Stallone's just got that emotion nailed in his films.
Yeah, that sports movie formula never seems to go away, and Rocky's the one that invented it. Rocky invented that formula that you see every single sports movie that comes out is Rocky.
Yeah,
with a different sport.
Absolutely,
it is Rocky. But this has been the first one that's come along in a while. They finally shifted gears, switched to focusing on Apollo Creed's son, which is played by Michael B. Jordan. Did a good job at the movie.
Good.
And the movie was really well shot, well directed. The soundtrack was really good in Creed as well. Just everything about this was awesome, and it was like I thought what the Rocky series definitely needed.
Okay, have you seen Sicario yet? Did you catch that? It's not a screener per se.
Yes, I did. Yeah, it's a 1080. Yeah, I saw a 1080 web rip went up for Sicario. I downloaded it. I watched like for the first hour and I passed out. I fell asleep.
Ugh.
But I was really enjoying it. Right. I just passed out because I was laying down. But I was enjoying it. I'm going to finish it because what I was watching, I was enjoying. I really like Emily Blunt. I like Josh Brolin. I liked all the cast in that movie. So I'm all over that movie. Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's the best cartel movie I've seen to date. Some of those cartel movies, like The Attorney, movie was such a fucking sleeper, and this one just nailed it. They did a really good job.
Yeah. Did you watch Narcos?
Yeah, I'm watching Narcos right now. I'm about probably 6 episodes in right now.
Yeah, it was a good series. That was the first episode I watched when I got my 4K TV because it was in 4K. I was like, I want something to watch in 4K. Nice. And it just turned out to be a really good series.
Yeah, I was surprised. The first episode was a little like, but after you push through that first episode, it opens wide up and it's great.
Yeah, I was excited to see when Sicario went up because I wanted to see this in cinemas. Actually, I almost went to the movies to see it. I was very close to go seeing it like a couple times, and I just like kept getting pushed back. I was like, whatever. But glad to see it now. Yep, it's good stuff. Good stuff. But anyway, that was it. Last topic to roll on out of here. I guess. Thank you for filling us in on short notice here for Brian, since Brian couldn't make it. So Brian,
thanks for having me, man.
Other Brian made it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It was a great time.
Yep. So for the people that maybe arrived a little late, weren't here at the beginning. Regular Brian couldn't make it this week because he's on vacation right now for the holidays, so he couldn't make it. So other Brian, BadSeedTech filled in. Check out his channel once again. Links down in the description below, and check him out and all that good stuff. And we're going to roll on out of here, and Merry Christmas to everyone. Only a couple of days left till Christmas, so Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. We will catch you guys next time.
Yep.
Ta-da. We've got to roll out that intro, actually, as we get on out of here.